Hello, my name is Airman Spain, and I'm your first floor president. Today I have the pleasure of hosting our guest speaker from the 75th Mission Support Group, the Superintendent, Chief Masson. Chief, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, I'm doing great. Well, first off, as I mentioned earlier to our viewers, I'm super excited to have you on with us today. Just to get right into it, because I know everyone's anxious to hear the meat of the entree here, I just want to talk about your journey to becoming chief. You can just lead right into that.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to speak to you all today. I'm honored, really I am, so thank you for asking me. And it's a little strange not having people in the audience, but I understand what's going on today. So the journey to becoming chief, when I saw that question, I thought, whoa, that's a tough one, because it wasn't like I enlisted and said, I'm going to be a chief. I enlisted, I wanted to be a part of something bigger. I wanted to do something bigger and be a part of something. So I joined with sort of that mindset, and then of course I joined with like, oh, I just want GI Bill benefits and I want these benefits, and I didn't really think about like joining to become like an airman. But so with that being said, the journey was not anything I've planned. It just, and I want to say it just kind of happened, because I don't think things just happen without hard work and dedication. And from the start, I have always been a hard worker, and I am very dedicated to being the best I can be, and to being excellent. And so, I always worked harder for the next thing, whatever that was. So I came in an airman first class. I worked hard to become, to grow and to change and to develop. And I knew I would make senior airman someday, but then I was lucky enough to be chosen as a below the zone airman, and I was very surprised by that. So that showed me that people were watching. I did not expect that at all. I was shocked when they presented me with the below the zone stripe, and so from that moment forward, I realized like working hard and being excellent, like it shows. My supervisors and commander saw that. And so I guess with that being said, like I just really tried to be excellent as best I could every day. Some days it was a little bit more, it's more difficult maybe to be at that high performing level, but overall I'd say I've worked very hard for my entire career, and I continue to work hard. It's not something that stops, like so I mean, like I said, like I thought maybe someday it'd be awesome to be a chief, but you have to take it one step at a time, and one rank at a time, and one assignment at a time, and literally one day at a time. And so I just encourage everybody out there to just really like have long-term goals, and those goals did change and develop over time. So I think in the back of my head, I thought, man, it'd be awesome to be a chief someday. But I also had to focus on what was happening right now, and I think we all know by now, even first-term airmen can say some days are harder than others, and so I just encourage everybody to just focus on what can I do right now. That phrase, sometimes it sounds silly, but bloom where you're planted. I mean, there is a lot of truth to that. And so there were times I was like, I didn't like the assignment I was at, but you know what? I did my best to try to turn it around and say, okay, well, what are the positives about this location or assignment, or even just job situation? And leaders come and leaders go, and some are more challenging than others. And what do you have to do to adapt to continue to be excellent, continue to serve your supervisors and your commanders as best you can.
Absolutely. So, Chief, if you could just explain like what it is that brought you to the Air Force. Well, what led you to enlist?
Sure, that's a great question, and I love asking that question to everybody else, because everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Everybody has a reason for why they joined, and then everybody has a reason for why they stay or go. And so mine personally, I actually got a music education degree. I went to college. I got a music education degree, but I didn't want to teach. I wanted to play my instrument. And met somebody who was in an Air Force band, and they suggested I take an audition. And so if you're in the band career field, you have to take an audition to be in the band. And I said, sure, why not? I'll try. Took an audition. They said I was good enough to be in the band, because it's not easy to be in an Air Force band. You do have to be at a certain level. Yeah. And so I thought, well, I need a job. For me, I was enlisting in the Air Force because I needed a job. I didn't realize I was joining something much bigger than me. I did realize, I think in basic training, that wow, this is much bigger. But I don't think I really even understood that until several years in the service. But I joined for selfish reasons. I joined because I wanted the GI Bill, I needed a job, I wanted to play music, that's it. And this wearing a uniform, okay, that's fine, I can do that. So my reasons were very selfish. It took several years in the Air Force. Actually, honestly, it didn't start to change until my second assignment. My first assignment was at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. I went to Germany, and it was while I was in Germany that I started to see what a huge impact and difference that we make living overseas and serving overseas, and just what we're doing for the United States. And that's when I started to realize I was a part of something much bigger and much more important. I am so passionate about the defense of our nation and every AFSC. So I think that's when things started to transition. But that's just the story. But you know what? My selfish reasons are what got me in the door, and then things changed from there.
I remember you mentioned that you didn't anticipate being an MTI.
So, yeah. Right, I have people ask me, like, how did you become a chief? You know, or what's your journey to becoming a chief? And it's like, it is nothing I ever planned. Yeah. It's my journey, I guess, is, like I said, I'm a planner. I've got it all planned. I'm going to get promoted this time. I'm going to do, and none of that worked out. What worked out is that I just worked hard every single day. I tried to be excellent every single day. So in the career path just took its course. I went to Germany, and then after Germany I ended up at a little base near Boston called Hanscom, and again, these were all things that I didn't plan. It's just things that worked out, but I rolled with the punches as best I could. I continued to work hard. So I will say, so I was a master sergeant, and I decided I wanted to be a first sergeant, and not many people leave the band career field. Most people want to stay in and play music, and that's awesome, because it's a great career field. I needed a change, so I talked to the career assistance advisor. I thought, I'll apply to be a first sergeant, and I really thought I was going to be a first sergeant, and a series of obstacles kept popping up, and I could not get my application across the finish line. Another story for a different day. But it was very frustrating. Well, it was during that time period that there was unfortunately a huge sexual assault scandal in basic military training. And then the memo came out, we need master sergeants, we need women, they needed more female MTIs. And I called the career assistance advisor again, and I said, well, what about being an MTI? And then ended up switching my package, and I went to be an MTI. Like, never in a million years would I have dreamed that would have been in my cards, but that was a game changer. I started to see a bigger picture. I started to see even more of a bigger picture of the Air Force in basic training, and I loved training the airmen, just loved interacting with our future generation, and it was in basic training, or while I was an MTI, that I made senior master sergeant, which nobody was more surprised than me that happened. So I thought I was going to finish my time out and retire out of BMT, but that's not what happened. And then of course making senior opened more doors, and then I went to the Pentagon after basic training. So from BMT I went to the Pentagon, and I thought, this is like, again, nobody's more surprised than me. So things I never planned, but just worked out because I kept working hard. I kept a positive attitude as best I could, and I never gave up. Like, never gave up on just being, just like I said, just being excellent. I could have easily coasted and retired as a master sergeant, but that is not me. And so I just kept working hard. And so when I made senior, like I said, I was like very surprised. But you don't know what the path is. Nobody can predict the future. nobody, and nobody knows what's going to happen in our careers. So I just encourage everybody to keep working hard, even when it's challenging. You cannot give up. You will sell yourself short.
Absolutely.
You will sell yourself short. So just keep working hard. And you know what? There's been times where I've been like, you know what? I am sick of what's happening in my current assignment, whatever those challenges were, and volunteered for a PCS or a deployment, or so those things happen too. So just know that sometimes uncomfortable situations can propel decisions that actually put you in a better situation.
Oh, I love that.
So
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on my career, it has not been always easy, but some of those very challenging situations propelled me to make decisions. You know what? I need a change. And
absolutely.
I'd say the MTI was a big change.
Yeah.
that one was very hard, but it turned out to be the most amazing job and the most amazing assignment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess you could probably, to sum it up, when situations that you don't expect present themselves, remaining as positive as you can is what's going to allow you to propel into the unknown.
Right, that's a great way to put it. And what I will say is sometimes these opportunities come up and I'm very closed-minded to it. I'm like, no, like MTI. I'm like, I can't be an MTI. No. And then it started to change over time, and that I thought, why not? Why can't I be? And so it took a little bit of time for me to open my mind, but I'd say try to just keep an open mind about different opportunities, because if I had kept a closed mind, if I had shut that door, then who knows, maybe I would have retired as Master Sergeant. Maybe I wouldn't have learned the most amazing things about myself and met the most amazing airmen who are now staff, and some are even tech selects. Like it's crazy. But yeah, try to keep an open mind even when you don't want to, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That it's opened doors for me that would have never expected.
Keep an open mind. Words to live by. I love that. So Chief, for these final few minutes, if you could, just look into the camera as if you're speaking to an airman directly, and just any lasting words, any final thoughts, or any nuggets of wisdom that you want to pass on to them.
Sure. First of all, I want to thank you for the time today. This has been a blast. And for everybody out there, if you don't know me and you see me, please say hi to me. I really do want to meet you. Don't be afraid to ask. Also, don't be afraid to ask if you have a question about anything. And I'm certainly here to help. And I think I speak on behalf of most chiefs. Is like we really do want to help and serve. So don't be afraid to say hi and ask for it. Continue to be excellent. Continue to learn your job as best you can. Be the best. Be the best. Like, just say, I'm going to be the best. Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself first, however that is. Whatever fuels you, whatever you need to fuel yourself to keep going, and keep doing that. Take care of each other. Be good wingmen to each other. Look out for each other. Even if that person isn't your favorite person, they're still a person, and they need somebody looking out for them. So be looking out for each other. And then the one big thing I do want to say is that I don't think I've touched on is lift each other up. Be each other's biggest fan. I am so thrilled when other people win awards. I'm so happy to see them get an award. It is so easy to get stuck in jealousy, and I'm human too. Like I have struggled, and sometimes I even still struggle with jealousy. But I'd say earlier in my career that was a very, very big issue for me, is that somebody else would win an award and I'd be super jealous. I'm like, but I worked twice as hard as that person, or why did that person get promoted and I didn't get promoted this time? And it's so easy to get stuck in that. And you know what? It didn't hurt anybody except me. And so even now, if I feel myself getting a little jealous of something that's somebody else is doing, or I just say, you know what, there's enough awards to go around. Enough awards, there's enough promotions, there's enough stuff out there to be recognized. Yeah. And it's also not about recognition. Like sure. intrinsically, I am very happy when I'm doing well in my job and when I'm helping other people. So I would just encourage you, please keep lifting each other up. If somebody else wins an award, be happy for them, because guess what? It's going to come your way eventually if you're continuing to be excellent and doing the best you can be. So lift each other up, be there for each other, and then that makes us stronger as a team and stronger as a nation. And that's what we really need. We really need to come together despite differences as best we can. So don't be afraid to have those hard conversations, but at the same time, like, please try to be there for each other and try to unify. And that makes us stronger as a country, because we need to be strong. We're here to protect the freedoms that this country has, and I believe we all want to keep that. So let's try to stick together. But very, very proud of really all the airmen that I interact with on the base. There's a very, very committed group of people here, and I'm very proud of our airmen. Like I said, it took me a while to grow into being an airman. I was very selfish when I first joined. Even though I joined as older, and I did have some life experience, I was still very selfish. So I'd say a lot of the airmen that I see here, I'm like, oh my gosh, it took me like 5 years to get to that point. So very proud of you all, and I look forward to meeting you. And like I said, say hi if you see me around.
Absolutely. Chief Masson, on behalf of the First Four, we are honored that you took out the time in your day to come and be here for our second installment of our virtual coffee talk. Your love of transparency, it's so easy to talk to you, and I'm sure that other airmen can relate, those who have already interacted with you. So we hope to have you back here in the near future, but if anything, we will definitely see you here on base. Out and about.
Thank you.
Thank you.